It was the perfect crime. No weapons, no hostages, no violence. Just a team of men, a tunnel, and a plan that would stun France and the world. In July 1976, a group of thieves broke into the vault of the Société Générale bank in Nice. What they stole wasn't just money, it was the illusion of security itself. The bank heist pulled off without a single weapon. The mastermind was Albert Spaghiari, a former paratrooper turned photographer with a taste for adventure and secrets. Charismatic and calculating, Spaghiari wasn't interested in a quick grab-and-run robbery. He wanted something bigger, something legendary. Inspired by a similar tunnel job in Italy, he began planning a heist that would rely not on violence but on precision. He recruited a team not from criminal gangs, but from his circle of tradesmen and specialists. Plumbers, electricians, metalworkers. Each man had a role. Each man had a skill. They rented a drain access point near the bank. At night, under the cover of darkness, they began their work. It wasn't easy. The ground beneath the city was unpredictable. Layers of concrete, stone, and water. They dug slowly, reinforcing the tunnel with wooden beams and sheet metal. They installed lights. They brought in oxygen tanks to keep the air fresh. They even set up a pump to keep groundwater out. It took 2 months of meticulous effort, but by early July, they were less than a meter from the vault. On the night of July 16, 1976, the team made their move. It was the start of Bastille Day weekend. Most of France was on holiday. The bank would be closed until Monday. They descended into the tunnel with tools, food, and sleeping bags. Their plan: work in shifts, stay out of sight, and take everything they could carry. Once they reached the underside of the vault, they used an oxyacetylene torch to slice through the reinforced floor. It was hot, slow work. Sparks flew, concrete cracked, but no alarm sounded. No guards came. They were inside. The vault was filled with hundreds of private safety deposit boxes, each one a miniature treasure chest. Over the next 48 hours, they opened more than 400 of them. Inside were gold bars, rare coins, diamonds, stacks of cash, bearer bonds, and confidential documents, but also secrets, love letters, divorce papers, passports, blackmail files. Spaghiari reportedly instructed his men not to touch anything personal, only valuables. It was part of his code. They dined on wine, cheese, and charcuterie inside the vault. One man later described it as a picnic underground. They played music on a radio and joked about how long it would take the police to find out. Before leaving, Spaghiari spray-painted a message on the wall. Without weapons, nor hatred, nor violence. It was part statement, part taunt. When bank employees returned on Monday morning, they found chaos. The floor had been cut open from beneath. Dozens of boxes were empty. Some were completely destroyed. Papers littered the ground. The smell of metal, dust, and smoke lingered in the air. There was no sign of forced entry from above. No broken locks. No cameras had captured anything. The vault had been sealed from the inside. That's how the thieves had bought themselves time. The estimated take? More than 46 million francs, equivalent to over 30 million US dollars today. It was the largest bank heist in French history, and it had been done without a single gunshot. Police were baffled. The only clue was the tunnel and the message left behind. Journalists had a field day. The Gentlemen Robbers, one headline called them, the cleanest heist in Europe. Weeks passed. Leads went cold. But then, a small mistake unraveled everything. One of the men involved had spoken too loosely. A tip reached police, and soon all roads led to Spaghiari. He was arrested in a cafe in Nice. Calm and well-dressed, he acted surprised but didn't resist. Police searched his home and found photos, documents, and tunnel schematics. It was clear he was the architect of the crime. But Albert Spaghiari wasn't finished yet. During a court hearing, he asked to speak with the judge privately. When left alone in the office, he suddenly jumped out the window, handcuffed, onto a parked car below. Waiting outside was a getaway motorcycle. He jumped on, and within seconds, he was gone. He was never seen in France again. Rumors swirled for years. Some said Spaghiari fled to Argentina. Others believed he moved through Spain and Switzerland, always one step ahead. He reportedly sent letters to French newspapers, mocking the police and boasting about his new life. In one message, he claimed he'd spent the money on art, women, and adventure. He became a cult figure, part criminal, part folk hero. No one knows exactly how many people were involved in the heist. Some say it was a tight team of 6. Others claim as many as 20 helped dig, plan, and escape. And most of the loot? Never recovered. The bank tightened security. France rewrote procedures. But the damage was done. This wasn't just a robbery, it was a message. The old rules no longer applied. No alarms, no guards, no violence, just patience, discipline, and brilliant timing. Was it a crime? Absolutely. But was it art? Albert Spaghiari died in 1989, reportedly of cancer, in exile. His ashes were scattered over the hills of southern France. He left behind no riches, no confession, just a legacy built on silence, strategy, and style. What do you think? Was this the perfect crime? Let us know in the comments. And for more stories of unsolved mysteries and criminal masterminds, subscribe to Criminal Chessboard. One move, one plan, one legend at a time. News of the heist spread quickly, first across France, then the world. The media couldn't get enough of the story. A charming ex-soldier who had outsmarted the banks, the police, and the courts, all without hurting a soul. It was irresistible. Some journalists compared Spaghiari to Arsène Lupin, the gentleman thief from French literature. Others called him a modern-day Houdini. Meanwhile, public opinion was sharply divided. To many, he was a criminal, no different from anyone else who broke the law. But to others, he was something more. A man who exposed the cracks in the system, who proved that intelligence could be more powerful than violence. People began asking hard questions. How could a group of men spend 2 months digging a tunnel under one of the largest banks in France, and no one noticed? How could a man in handcuffs leap out a courthouse window and vanish without a trace? And how many secrets had disappeared with those stolen safety deposit boxes? Even today, nearly 50 years later, the nice vault heist continues to fascinate. Who helped Spaghiari escape? Was it former military contacts? Corrupt officials? Did the police let him go? Where did the money go? Did the gang split it? Invest it? Hide it? And what about the documents taken from the vault, some of which reportedly included sensitive political and corporate information? Spaghiari himself once hinted that he had uncovered things too dangerous to speak of. Was that bravado or a warning? Some believe the theft was more than a heist, that it was part of something larger, a political message, or even blackmail on a national scale. There is no hard proof, but the mystery, like the tunnel, runs deep. Let us know what you think in the comments.